If you are a beginner, leader, or follower who needs help urbanizing your saidas, this video is for you. If you are an intermediate level dancer or higher who wants to take the musical variations of your saidas to the next level, this video is also for you. And just to let you guys know, we're going to get pretty nerdy in this dance video, so make sure you have on your thinking caps. Let's go. Hey y'all, welcome to part 3 of the Level Up Your Saidas series. If you've already watched part 1 and part 2, then you already know the story behind the series here that we're doing to level up your saidas. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 yet, I definitely recommend watching those first so you'll have a better understanding of the terminology and the concepts that I'll be explaining. And if you find value in this video, please like the video. It definitely helps spread and helps grow the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Let's go. All right, let's roll up the sleeves that I don't have on right now and get more intricate for the more intermediate and advanced dancers, yeah? I feel that an advanced dancer should be able to take basic concepts and create advanced concepts. There's a term that I feel like we should use more as dancers, which is advanced basics, yeah? I'm gonna give a shout out to Nemanja, who is a dancer, I believe, out of Estonia, if he's still living there. But I interviewed him years ago. But a quote that he said has stood with me over the years. And that quote is, "The basics are the first thing that you learn and the last thing that you master." Yeah, so this is something that we're always working on. So in the spirit of that quote from Nemanja, we are going to start to put these things together. We did the 62s separately and we did the 44s separately. So now we're going to create some Legos, yeah? So let's go ahead and start with the Lego block of 62s first and 44s after within the same saida. So that will look like this. We have some different variations that can come along with that. So for this Lego block, we're going to do the 62 counts first. So we're going to slow down one of these beginning steps, and then we're going to finish with the syncopation. And we have 2 variations for that. First variation is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. What did we just do? That was a 62 where we slowed down the first count, and then we syncopated with a 44 on the 2, the second step of the saida. So now we're not talking about musically anymore. We're talking about steps in the saida, and then we just finished with a normal on-tempo marca. Let's go ahead and do that one more time for you guys, and then we'll go to the second variation. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Yeah? First variation. Second variation is now we're going to trade places with that on-tempo step and the syncopation. Remember that on-tempo step was at the very end, right before the marca. Now we're going to put that on-tempo step at the end of the first step of the saida. This is going to be on the screen, so you guys should be able to visually see what I'm trying to explain here. And again, this is where we're getting into the intricacies of that numbering system that I talked about before, being very intentional about counts, length of the step that we're doing, and step of the sequence of the saida. So other variation is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, I'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there we had a slow step to start off, 62 on the 1, on tempo step for the second step of the saida. That brought us to the third step of the saida, and then we could easily fit in a 44.3 to finish the saida. And notice that we finished all of those saidas on count number 5. We're adding some more variation and style to our steps, yeah? And so for the last variation of this particular Lego block sequence of 62s first, then the 44s, we have one last variation. We're going to do an on-tempo step first into a slow tempo on the second step for a 62.2, which brings us to the third step of the saida and syncopating it home close to getting there for the 5th count musically. And that will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. So one more time, really slow for that last variation. We have on tempo 1. Then we have a 2 count step. 2, 3. Yeah. And then we have a 44 on the 3 to bring it on home. Syncopate. Yeah, which is going to be 3 and 4. So those are all the variations where we can put the 62 happening before the 44. And to flip that around for a challenge, we're going to switch those Legos around. And now we're going to do 44s first and the 62s after. So we'll go ahead and switch this direction so you guys can see that from here. The first variation here of this Lego sequence could look like this with a 44 on the 1. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so again, we syncopated the first part. 1 and 2. Yeah, so those are the first 3 steps of the Saida. Then we have a 2 count step here coming through. This is a 62 on the 4 for 2 counts. And then we just have a simple on counts step. Yeah. And the other variation of this, we're just going to swap the on tempo and that 62 on the 4 to do a 62 on the 5. And that will look like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how we have those 2 variations of squeezing in the 44 before the 62. And the last variation here is going to look like this. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so to break that down, basically here what we have is on tempo step 1. Then we syncopated with the 44 on the 2. Boom, boom, boom. So that was Saida steps 2, 3, and 4. Now we just have to finish, and we're just going to slow this down with a 62.5. Bam, bam. And then we're ready to continue. Since we're on the 5, we could essentially do one of those 90-degree turns and repeat that drill over and over again. Yeah. So we can create drills out of this. Those things are going to be on Urbankiz membership site, but we just wanted to paint the picture of how you can be more intentional about your practice of your Saidas and variations of your Saidas. So that way you can start to implement these things and drill these things to the point to have the habits. And then with those newfound skills that you have created from your drills, then we can go onto the dance floor and we can start to now match these Saida variations with different musical elements. And that's going to be the last part of the video that we're going to be showing here. So let's go.